Hello, team members, and this is Anka Johnson coming to you for your first 48 video. And we also have my sidekick Birdie, who is keeping me laughing as this is, I don't know, take 3 or 4 at this point of getting this video done. What I wanted to do in this video, my main purpose for this is to help you move through the first 48, the first 30 days, actually, I'm sorry, it would be the first week and then the first 30 days and then beyond 30 days. So I'll be sharing with you videos that are a little bit instructional for helping you work through these different sections as you move through your training with your upline business leader. So first, a couple things in general. The videos are geared to be a lot more generalized in nature because I want them to be timeless. So I'm not going to be very specific to specific dated events because I want you to be able to, I don't want to have to redo these videos every 6 months, and I want you to be able to use these in general for anybody that you are training. And with that, perfect segue is that this site is geared towards and was created so that all Team Forward and Up members could use this website. So even if your training is a little bit different from your upline business leader, if there are some specific things that your upline business leader does that I maybe don't do or somebody else doesn't do, then that is totally fine. I just want kind of the bones of this site to be generic enough and usable enough for all teams so that you have a resource to go to train your new team members. Your upline business leader is going to coach and lead all of the checklist items for you, for your full comprehension and your full understanding. So this is just a quickie view for you to know what to do and how to prepare for your strategy, your first strategy session with your upline business leader after these 48 hours. But yeah, so I think that pretty much says that. Any questions that you have about any other online tasks or documents or anything like that, save that for your upline business leader meeting. And with that, I'm going to throw this out. So I don't know where you are in the downline of Team Forward and Up. So I am the leader of Team Forward and Up. My name is Anka Johnson, and I am always here to help you do anything that you need in order for you to grow or for your business to grow. So please always have me in the back of your mind as a resource, including your upline business leaders and your personal team. So please know that I am always here as a resource for you. One of the things that I love about Shaklee is that it is also about a lot of growing in your own life and way outside of Shaklee, but just growing in your life as well as your Shaklee business. So there are a lot of things that you're going to learn and go through and do that's going to extend into other areas of your life. So enjoy that as that starts to happen. So we're creating independent entrepreneurs. So your upline business leader is only going to meet with you after you've completed the tasks that you need to complete for your meeting. The purpose of your first strategy meeting with your upline business leader is to do 3 things. It's to finalize your commitment, to personalize your training, and to determine your pace and flow. So let's look at each 3 of those things. So to finalize your commitment, it's to commit to, the cost of what the process to achieving means. So what that means is in order for you to achieve anything in life, there's some kind of a cost associated with it, and it's typically outside. It typically includes some sort of a resource or resources, and those things are typically time, money, and energy. So somewhere along the line, you're going to have a cost of one or more of those things. And if we don't commit to knowing that that cost is going to come up, when it does come up, we are going to maybe push back a little bit. So to finalize your commitment, understanding what that cost might be. The difference between a desired outcome or desiring an outcome and committing to a process. So that's another big thing is when we desire an outcome, if we don't have commitment to the process, then when things start to get a little rough or you have to start paying some of those costs I just talked about, then that outcome might not be, or that desire might not be enough to move you through. And we're going to do a lot of work on that, discovering what we call your why, your drive, your passion, your vision. So we'll talk a lot more about that. But again, just kind of high level information. Just know that there's that difference between desiring an outcome and actually committing to a process. And then as an apprentice right now, which is where you're at, you're going to be learning the skill set to become successful. And some of these things are going to be easy. Some of these things are going to be things you already know about. Some of these things are going to be very new. The really neat thing about this is because of the nature of this business, you are going to end up going from the role of the apprentice to the role of the expert as you start teaching your first downline people how to run their own businesses, along with the help of your upline business leader and people like myself. So just again, know that part of this is going to be, it's going to come in that piece of the cost for you. So being open, being coachable, being willing to be mentored, which is somewhat like coachable, but not really. But so just understanding that some of these things, like I said, are going to be new. Some of these things are going to be easy. Some of these things are going to be a little bit more difficult in nature, and just go with the flow with that process, and trust in your business, your upline business leader. Also learning things from each other. So as an instructor in various different forms over the period of my professional life, I have learned more from the people that I'm working with than what I'm teaching sometimes. And I think that's just the nature of the beast, especially if you're open to that learning. And that's one of the things I love about teaching, is that everybody is so rich with skills and things that they have to offer in their lives, that there's always opportunity from learning from all parties involved. So enjoy that, have fun with it, and definitely take it to the bank, because that is to me the cream of the crop, which is getting to learn all of these different things from other people as well. So that was finalizing your commitment. Number 2 is personalizing your training to your needs. And it's simply, we're going to personalize your training to your strengths. So whatever your strengths are, we're going to work on making sure that the way that we work with you, the way that we train with you, is going to capitalize on your strengths. And you will build on your weaknesses, but we're not going to start to ask you to do things that are really difficult for you. Rather, we're going to work with the things that you feel already really strong and more confident about. And we'll start out that way so that you can feel really good and hit the ground running, basically. And then the third thing, as I mentioned, was determining your pace and flow. And we're going to talk a lot more about this when we get into the Let's Get Started section here in just a minute. And that's going to be covered in time blocking and your intake form. Completing both of those. But determining your pace and flow, we're clearly going to define what you're willing to commit to. And we're also going to create a realistic picture of what your time looks like. So let's just put that in that neat little box. One thing I'm going to ask you to do is to hold off on inviting people to Shaklee or sharing Shaklee beyond like how you would share a good book or a good movie that you just saw. But hold off on inviting people in any other capacity until you've had your first Upline Business Leader Strategy meeting, which will happen sometime after your first 48 hours. Unless it's directed otherwise by your upline business leader. And then finally, after each one of these videos, there's going to be some action items for you to complete. So just complete these as they're going to seamlessly guide you to the next step in your training alongside of the content in this videos. All right, so that's all the general stuff. So now let's get started. So the first thing, if you haven't done this already, go ahead and print off the PDF checklist that should be entitled Strong Start Checklist. If you don't know where to find that, wherever you are in these video series, you've already found it. At the top, there should be a link on this page that says Strong Start Checklist. Just go ahead and pause this video and print it and then come back. Okay, so what you're basically going to be doing is following these items on this checklist. And as I mentioned, you've got the first 48 hours, which is what this video is about. And then you're going to have some subsequent videos that are going to help you through your first week, and then your first 30 days, and then beyond 30 days. So I think something that's really important to just mention is that if you don't want to build your business as quickly as what this checklist outlines, absolutely fine. Talk with your upline business leader. They will help lead you through and work with the pace that works for you. So all of these things can be done, the first 48-hour things, they can be done in a week. None of this is carved in stone. None of this is black and white. So just know that. The goal that we have for you and that we're going to work with you on is for you to earn at least $100 in the next 30 days, regardless of whether or not you walk, jog, or sprint. And that's the pace. And we'll talk more about that here in a minute. But if you are earning $100 or more in your first month, and again, it's going to determine if you really want to hit the ground running and you want to earn $1,000 this month, it's absolutely not just possible, it's very, very doable, but you will have to put in the work and the effort for it. So just to kind of be more generalized again, we want everybody to earn a minimum of $100 in that first month. Now, if you don't earn that $100 in that first month, don't feel like that's a failure. This is a goal. This is something that we're looking outward for you to be able to do. And if you achieve it, yay, we're going to celebrate. If you don't achieve it, we're still going to celebrate. But we want you to aim for that $100, and we're going to do our best to help you earn that as well. So let's talk about the intake and the time blocking sheets, because on your checklist, you will see that those are the two things that don't have a whole lot of explanation on the checklist. All the other things have a lot of explanation. And if you have any questions, ask for the other things. If you have any questions, ask your upline business leader or contact me. You can email me. This intake and time blocking is a little bit more detailed. So again, when you meet with your strategy session with your upline business leader after your first 48 hours, they will go through this in a lot more detail. So I guess I should take this out. Hold on, I've got too much stuff here. There we go. All right. So the new builder interview intake form looks like this. And it's a multi-page form. I think there are 4, 5, 6. There are 6 pages to it. First off, don't try to perfect it. If you try to perfect it, you're going to get stuck. You could get stuck, and I don't want you to get stuck. So don't linger too long on any one question. Kind of give yourself a maximum of 5 minutes for each question, if that even. But if you get stuck on something, just move to the next question, kind of like test taking 101. Move to the next question and then come back to that question. And if you don't have an answer, don't put anything down. Don't put something down just for the sake of putting something down. Work with your upline business leader and you'll get down exactly what you need to get down with them. So again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about going through this process. And again, remember, the beauty of this is that you're going to be doing this with your downline people at some point as you grow in the business. And what you learn here through your own experience, you'll be able to share with those folks as well. So, and remember that this isn't a job. I kind of jotted this down. This isn't a job interview. So, you know, there's no you're hired or not or whatever. It's just information so that your upline business leader is going to be able to be better prepared to help work with you with your strengths and help you move forward. And have a better idea of where your level of commitment is, what pace you want to move at, and kind of where your ideas are about the business. And that's really what these questions are all about. So that is the new builder interview, or what we call the intake form. So again, just go ahead and fill out those pages. The last page is a commitment page, and it looks like this. It has the words commitment on it. You can save that until the end, because when you're working with your upline business leader, because the two of you are going to have a discussion about that. And as you are having that discussion, you'll fill out that sheet. So that's the last sheet. So just leave that one blank at this point. All right. So if you have any questions about that, again, let your upline business leader know during your strategy session. You're more than welcome to contact me beforehand, or your upline business leader as well. All right. And then I also wanted to share the time blocking sheet with you. Now, this time blocking sheet, the one that you're going to pull up, it's going to look like this. And so it's a whole bunch of empty boxes with 2 bubbles in each box. So let me kind of share with you just a couple of generalities with this time blocking sheet. So there's no times given, because this is supposed to be a general sense of commitment and time, and kind of give you a better perspective of what your day and your week may look like. So that's why there's no times, and I don't want you to write times in there either, because then we get too deep into scheduling, and that's not what we're doing here. So each one of these blocks, so this is a block. So each one of these blocks gives you approximately 4 hours of time. And each one of the bubbles in the blocks represents 2 major focuses in that block. So remember, what we're doing is we're just kind of time blocking. We're not scheduling. So it's just giving us an idea of what does our day and our week look like today. So for me, ideally, what you would want is that as you fill this out, you don't fill out every single bubble. In other words, that you're not committed for every single bubble of time. But there are certain things that you're going to have that are what I call, oh my gosh, what do I call them? Oh, I'm just having a little brain fart here. Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable things. Guess I need my mind works, right? So non-negotiable things. So these are things that you know you have to do. So if it's picking kids up from school, if you have a job outside of Shaklee, which probably most of you do, even if you're a homemaker, you know how much of a job you have. So if there are certain things that you know that you have that are going to take up that time, then that's what's going to go into those bubbles. So for instance, all of the morning bubbles for me have some kind of a workout. And for some of you, that would be a negotiable item. For me, that's a non-negotiable item. And then I actually have chores, and these chores on Sunday represent the chores I have to do in the home. And then the rest of Sunday for me is family day. And so that is what is in all of my bubbles, is the family day part, because that's our family's family day. So, but think about if each one of these blocks is 4 hours, you have 4, 8, 12. So about 12 hours of waking time. Now, if you are a night owl, you might have an extra block, which is awesome, because typically other people are asleep, and that gives you concentrated time to do whatever you want, which, you know, it could be meditation, it could be work stuff, whatever. But for most of us, you know, I've got about 12 hours or so, 12 to 16 hours every day, where I have something to fill in here. So that's what I want you to do. So fill in the things that you, number one, sorry, I'm kind of getting off track here. Number one, fill in your non-negotiables first. That's really important. Number two, then fill in the things that are negotiable but are really important to you. So remember, one of my non-negotiables is working out. Maybe working out is a negotiable item, but it's really important to you. So fit that in wherever that needs to fit in. And if you have a like on the bottom here for mine, I have got a couple of bubbles that are open. And those bubbles are where I'm not driving my son to karate. I'm not committed with anything to do with my husband. I'm not committed with work things. I'm not committed with horse things. I'm not committed with anything. Leave those open. And what this is going to allow us to do is figure out, where does Shaklee fit into your time blocking? Because there are a certain amount of hours that we're going to want to block for Shaklee. So that being said, enjoy doing this. There is a much more detailed, not time blocking, but Charlene Fike, who you saw in the previous video, Charlene, who is our Presidential Master Coordinator, she has some beautiful courses that she has available. One of them is Becoming a Calendar Architect. And that is a course that I have taken, and I really loved it. Even though I love organization and I really don't have time, I have a problem planning and organizing, I learned a lot from it. So I highly recommend taking that course, especially if you find that planning and organizing is something that is a little bit more difficult for you. But it is a great course to take. It's a great use of your time, speaking of time. And I can, or your upline business leader can direct you to that course if that is something that you wish to take. All right, so barring any questions that you may have, if you would like to go ahead and let your upline business leader know that you are ready for your strategy session with them after you have completed everything in your first 48, even if it's not within 48 hours. And again, if you have questions and you want some help from me, I am available and I am happy and here to help. Thank you so much, and you will at least see me on the next video and maybe some of your other team members. Take care and good luck with your first 48.